Go. Good morning, Saïd. Good morning, Benjamin. Welcome in our studio here in Leuven. First, let me both introduce yourselves. Benjamin De Bruyn is a long-time professional working in multiple roles throughout the energy industry, in engineering companies. He's also a researcher nowadays with specific expertise regarding conflicts in EPC, in energy performance contracts. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning.
Then we have Saïd El Khadraoui, former member of European Parliament, also part of the internal think tank of the European Commission, working on a variety of energy related topics. So thanks the both of you for joining us here in our studio. What I'd like to start off with and hear the perspective of the both of you is, according to you, so the way the market currently works, the market that drives the energy transition, the way it works, do you think does it help or does it prevent SMEs to drive that change? And I'd like to start with you, Benjamin, to hear your perspective about that.
I think SMEs, they are focused on their core business and they have hands full with that. And when we talk about energy savings, it's a lot of work we're asking extra, and we don't only ask for energy savings, but it also needs to be circular. It needs to be aesthetical for the clients. It needs to be everything, and according to laws and legislations. It's so much we're asking from these SMEs that I think for most of the SMEs, the challenge is it's too big, and we need, as I heard previously from Clemens, I think we need to be able to support them more, like dedicated personal assistants in the terminology of Alexander Osterwalder. We need to be more supportive in multidisciplinary teams, because the challenges are bigger than only energy efficiency. Mm-hmm. And especially for an SME who needs to think about keeping his business performing and keeping his personnel at work, and etc.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Saïd? What's your perspective on this?
Well, I guess it depends on the SME. I mean, you know, SMEs that are more energy intensive will, I guess, carefully look at the impact of energy use, because it's a cost factor as well. Mm-hmm. And but on the other hand, there are a number of barriers. I can imagine it can be a lack of knowledge, can be the regulatory environment that is not you know, tailor-made for the SME environment, but also pricing. As we all know, external costs are not fully priced, meaning that we don't really pay the cost of energy and the negative externalities of energy. But I guess that in the environment we're in now, this will change quite rapidly. We have the European Green Deal agenda at the European level. Luckily, with the Biden administration, we can expect this to be supported also in the US. China announced it wants to be climate neutral by 2060, Japan by 2050. And so all this policy environment will actually push for more ambition in many ways. It can be, you know, the regulatory environment that will change, but also indirectly pricing due to tougher ETS regulations, higher carbon prices, and so on and so on. And so this will, you know, make everybody, including SMEs and those who manage SMEs, think about, okay, what does it mean for me? Mm-hmm. But I fully agree. It's not only about the energy emissions. It's about a broader kind of attempt to transform the economy and society and make it more sustainable. So I think we need to integrate other issues such as the value chains and other sustainability issues as well. It's about resource efficiency more broadly. Energy is a crucial part of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to circle back to the current state of the market. Because you have a variety of actors, you have auditors, you have engineering companies, you have ESCOs who all play a particular role in that that market. And I'd like to ask, and maybe that's a question for you, Benjamin, because you have a lot of practical experience in that market. How does that value chain operate today? Are there any frictions? Are there things that we can improve there?
I think in the landscape of energy services, with the public sector and the private sector trying to work together, there's a lot of conflicts, and in my opinion, there doesn't seem to be a bigger plan. The puzzle doesn't match, but it's bits and pieces conflicting with each other. Like, for instance, you have the fact that we're in a developing market, we're developing innovation, a lot of funding to develop innovation, as we are doing now. This innovation gets built up in the private sector, and then there's a public sector trying to get this intellectual property from these private partners. So there's this constant conflict of having innovation and having developed it, invested in it, but trying to get the return on it, while governments are trying to get this knowledge, which they funded, on the market and get the market growing. But there's a competition even between public sector and the private sector. Mm-hmm. They're working the same field, and also these, in Belgium at least, these public instances, they often need to be self-sufficient. So they are really managed as companies, having to have at least a break even in the end of the month. It's not helping the market, I think. You also have strange things, like try to explain to an SME how it is possible that a distributor of the energy network also has, by law, the responsibility to help customers with energy savings. They sell energy, and same time they need to save energy. It's a conflict in one organization. So and how is this credible to the clients?